Today we're going to be giving context on when is a script truly done. I'm Weston. I'm a film director and I own a film production company.
I'm Jacob, and I'm the lead writer for that film production company.
Yeah. So today we've got a comment from Taylor, or I guess a question. He asks, my projects never seem to stay as they were scripted. Is this a bad thing?
No, absolutely not.
Go for it.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we're both big believers in
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I mean, listen, you're never going to find a movie that has made it to a big screen that is the same script that they started with. Mm-hmm. It's just that this never happened.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say the better movies maybe had the bigger changes in their script.
Yeah. Arrival. Arrival was a great movie. If you read the script versus how it actually ended up in the edit, very different.
Really?
That whole intro sequence of Arrival was not part of the script.
Wow. Really?
And when they were going through the editing process, they were like, it just felt bland. It just felt uninteresting. No one was captivated until like 30 or 40 minutes into the movie, which is not a good movie. So they reworked a lot of it, shot a few extra scenes, and just changed the movie to be what it is.
You know, the thing is it's like, how many people write a script in its very beginning? One. Mm-hmm. Normally that's who writes a script. But one person's script suffers from one person syndrome, right? You have this singular mind, singular voice. And every time that script moves through new groups of people, right? That first person writes the script, passes it on to a team that treats it, right? And takes on a new voice, and then they guarantee will put that script through numerous other individuals and people. It's like a good book. Really good books, you open it, and somewhere in those first pages there's what? A thank you, an acknowledgement page to all the people who had anything to do. And you're thinking, well, yeah, but what about fiction? Yeah, even fiction. There's you open a good fictional book, or you talk, or if it's not in the acknowledgments, you talk to any author, and there were a lot of people who looked through that script. A lot of people. So, that's how it is with a good movie. Even if you write a script and just leave it as it is the first time, guarantee there's something bad with it, right?
And it's so many different level of people. It's not even writers. It's when you present the story to your actor, and the actor has some ideas and some background. A good actor is going to do their research. They're going to try to figure out who they want this character to be. And a lot of times your actor becomes the authority, and they say, hey, I don't think my character would make this decision or would say this. So It gets adjusted. For us, we do shot blocking, where we'll go ahead and shoot the whole entire project with just a small camera and try to work it out and get all the details out. And a lot of times, so that shot blocking process changes to the script happening because we realize the flow may be off, or this scene doesn't really fit next to this other scene.
Well, I think you really need to be flexible. Mm-hmm. As a writer with your script. If anybody feels protective in throughout the sequences of making a movie, it's probably the writer, because that's probably the biggest raw intellectual property that's in the script, that's in the making of the movie. Mm-hmm. But you really have to let that script go and change into what it needs to become for the movie to be good. So, you ask, my projects never seem to stay as they were scripted. Is this a bad thing? Well, let me ask you this. Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket is one of the most iconic movies of all time. And it's definitely cut into two halves. And there's a lot of iconicism. There's a lot of iconicism in both halves. But I would say just one of the most memorable, rewatchable parts of any movie is the first half of Full Metal Jacket. And Arlie Ermey, who is the Gunnery Sergeant Hartman, who is the actor who played that role as the drill sergeant through the first half of the movie, he didn't come in until halfway through production on that sequence. And he said, I'll play this part if I can totally bag all of my dialogue. And it was heavy speaking, through that first 45 minutes of the movie. So that was a lot. That's a lot.
And it was because he didn't feel like the dialogue just fit a drill instructor.
Right, it just wasn't natural.
It was fake.
I mean, I can't even imagine that movie without those unforgettable lines, And because his lines were different, some of the script itself had to change and the actions and what people did. But, it was healthy. It was good. The script was growing. And Krubik and the other people on set, they didn't fight that, right? That's what makes those guys good directors and iconic filmmakers.
To a degree, Kubrick was not one for letting in a lot of collaboration, but in this case, it helped out a lot.
I mean, he let this script grow and change and be what it needed to be, and you'll always remember it, right? Because you're the consumer, the viewer. So yeah, my projects never seem to stay as they were scripted. Is this a bad thing? Absolutely not. It's a good thing. That means that your scripts are budding out of the soil, that they're growing and blossoming and changing into something better. Yeah,
and kind of in closing, I would say for me as a film director, the biggest thing that I've learned is collaboration is key. Collaboration is so important, and being able to make sure you provide opportunities for great collaboration with, your writers, with, your art directors, as you get into acting with your actors, having input from all those individuals, being the one who someone has to still have authority of what makes into the script and what doesn't,
right.
Or what makes into the final movie and what doesn't. But being able to allow that input is from all these different diverse experiences and diverse lifestyles is always going to help a movie grow to be a much better product than if you just stick hardcore to what you wrote as a one single writer. Taylor, thank you so much for the question. If any of you guys have filmmaking related questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below or head on over to context.comv.org and you can submit your questions there. We look forward to giving additional context to your guys' questions about filmmaking. If some of this information was helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Questions in Context.
See you later.